the meeting when
I obviously needed to set that up before starting.
oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll remember next time.
All right, so
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising all. How's everyone doing this morning? It's a Monday, honey.
It's Monday.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying nothing else.
Delightful. I'm delightful.
It's Monday, and you know, we here on a Monday.
We
and we can set it up how we choose. Now I'm gonna tell y'all now. If you got my post on Facebook and Instagram this morning, you already know how long I've been up because I sent that post out early this morning.
Oh, I saw it. I saw
Baby.
both the flyer. That was nice. And
Baby.
your live.
Had to get it in the best way I could because yesterday was so a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I got it done. Levon is here. Hey, Levon, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Fun. Can we see your picture? I know
Let's
you're
see her
beautiful.
picture, girl. She is part of the goddess, Detroit goddess community.
Hi,
Thanks, how y'all doing?
Well,
I'm in the process of moving, so you might see a lot of stuff in the background.
Girl, I'm all about moving forward. Okay.
I know.
That's no period.
I'm glad to be here today, finally.
Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. You made it, girl. We gonna get it together. Thank you for joining.
I know.
Playing around, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Good morning, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, Danielle. Thank you for joining us, darling. How are you, darling?
I'm good. I don't understand why my laptop is not connecting to the Wi-Fi, but I'm like, okay, we got other devices. We just roll on. We just keep on moving. Like,
We
okay.
just keep rolling around these parts. That's what we do.
rolling, rolling.
Right? Good
We
morning,
just
Mama
keep on
Evelyn.
Good morning, Grand Rising.
Mama Hetaru, how you, darling?
I'm good. I'm T. I'm good.
Had us out here dancing this weekend like we was teenagers.
Listen.
Like we was teenagers. Thank you so much for the invite. I had so much fun.
First of all, that's how I met Mama Hit. What was it? 16 years ago, swinging on a pole at House of Best. She was celebrating her 40th birthday, and that's the thing that got me because you know we talk about 40 as if everything breaks down, and this woman was like, she was around there. It was a woman celebrating 40 and a woman celebrating 80, and I'm just looking like, I need to be around these women right here because something in the juice that they drinking or whatever. And I'm like, but still, 16 years later, my head is still.
Man, doing her thing.
Loving it.
Doing her thing. So
yes.
But look, what got me, I'm gonna tell you right now, I met Mama Het at the House of Bassett swinging on a pole. Okay. That did not get past me. Okay. I remember when she used to do those pole dancing workshops. They were phenomenal. I never went, but heard great things about it. So,
yeah, they used to do something. They used to do something called a hopper. So it was half belly dance, half pole. So you got a little belly dance, you got a little pole. But when I said it was a sea of women, I've never seen anything like that on a Friday night in my life. It was life changing. As I swear, when I got the text for the party, I came home with a huge bottle of Pear Absolute. We was about to get it in. And when I got the text, I was like, oh, let me go try that. That bottle stayed in the freezer for 6 months. That's what I'm saying. It's life changing. That's all I have to say.
I had a wonderful time. I saw some drums up there. They didn't have the tambourine. I said, oh my God, I should have brought my tambourine. I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Girl, and that's what
I did not know that she gets down like this. You know, the DJ.
DJ Love Bean, Mama Tanae.
Yeah, Mama Tanae. Yeah, I know. You know what? As matter of fact, it was Danyelle. I don't know if Peace was there with us. We went to some event, and it was, I don't know if it was a birthday. It might have been the one year.
Oh, I remember. It was Mama Shoe's 50th.
Yes.
Girl, we showed out that night.
Yes. And then she was rocking it. I mean, I told Mama Hetheru, I said, okay, we got our official DJ. I haven't even talked to her, but she was on jam. I was telling my husband, I said, it was so cool. And it was music, DJ music that I could, get into, and the rhythm is cool. It was so nice. And then beautiful outside. You guys, I walked home.
Nice.
I did. And then when I got tired and stuff, I said to myself, what would Nawili do? She would keep walking. She would keep walking. So I had a wonderful time, and I said, no, just stay where the people are. Go where the people are. Stay where the lights are, and then you'll make it home. And then I, saw my angels round about me, and I said, let's get it on. Let's go.
Well, that sounded like me a couple weeks ago on my bike trying to get home from that.
Right. That was quite a ride piece.
Yes, it was. And talk about angels and ancestors showing up for you, girl. But they did, thank goodness.
Where did you ride from to?
Well, we had a sister circle, and I'm thinking, I've been on my bike the whole day. So I'm thinking, the bus comes, slap it on the front of the bus, ride on home, because it ain't that far, right? Well, it ain't that long of a ride if I do it that way. And girl, in true Detroit form, DDOT did not show up. Which means I almost got stranded in downtown Detroit. I caught the last bus all the way back to Redford. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank God. Thank Goddess. And then was able to ride my bike home. But yeah, that was a whole journey, honey.
Baby, once you do that, you be like, forget that car and that gas. Forget
Baby,
about it.
listen, it still was a cheaper ride, okay? You just put in a little bit of energy and you'll be okay. Yeah, the gas prices are ridiculous. So I ride my bike as much as I can. And I have an SUV. So do the math on that.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
So good morning, ladies. Let's get it in. We have, if you got the post, we have a very interesting show today. And so we're gonna go bam, bam, bam. The conversation, I'm trusting, is gonna pop like popcorn. So we're gonna get it in. Good morning, Danyelle. Thank you again for being here. Do you have a tech talk for us today, or should we go right into the meditation today so we can get into the lesson? What you got for us?
Well, let's see. Let's go right into the meditation, because I think I just got a little thrown off by not getting on the internet. I'm like, oh, that's just.
I know, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday. That's all we're gonna say, right?
It's gorgeous.
All right, so I want to give a brief introduction if you're new here. I am at Peace Makita, my lovely co-host Danyelle Claxton, and this is Mommy Mogul Mindset. So if you're a mom, or you're nurturing a family, or nurturing a business or an idea, or just a new way of life, this is the place for you, because we are going to help you stay motivated to get to your greatest success. And that is what a mogul is. It's about being your best self, being successful in whatever you set your mind to. And so we believe that here. We believe that you already have what it takes. And how do we know? Because we are helping you formulate the mindset necessary to do it, because it's all about the mind. Like when I say all about the mind, of course, I'm not negating anything else, but your head got to be in the game. I played sports before. I've, been in a lot of different arenas, and it's all about, what are you feeding yourself? What are you thinking on a daily basis? What are you believing, right? And so here we want to encourage you to be your absolute best. So welcome to Mommy Mogul Mindset. And here we do meditation. We talk tech talk. We talk about our businesses. We talk about our mental health, our spiritual and emotional well-being. So today, we have a hot topic. Now, if you have not already seen the post, today we're going to talk about Eve was framed. That's all I'm going to say. And we're going to get all off into it, okay? I got some special tea for y'all. This is coffee, but I got special tea for y'all today, okay? So we're going to get it in, but we always like to start with meditation. right? Because it is the start of our day and we want to just open ourselves up to receive all the good that we have today. And one of the best ways to do it is meditation. And it's also one of the best ways to stay in the mommy game, to stay in the mogul game. If you do any type of research on your favorite success story, especially these days in 2022, I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10, they meditate. So meditation is a huge part of success. So that's what we like to do here is we like to tap in, turn on, and tune into our highest frequency. So we're just going to take a few moments to just center and ground ourselves. I'm going to find your meditation music. So go ahead and get comfortable. It only takes a few moments to give yourself what you need. So let's see here. So while I'm setting up your music, I want you to go ahead and take some deep breaths, gently check in with yourself. Feel what it feels like to be you in this moment. Don't mind me, don't mind me, I will watch the time for you. And so wherever you are, whether you're moving about or whether you're stationary, you can meditate anywhere. We always are meditating anyway, whether we realize it or not. So go ahead and just take an inhale through the nose, gently exhale out the mouth. And that's signaling to our mind and to ourselves that it is time to step into a new frequency. We are about to step into our meditation just for a moment. Let's see. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. And that is a very good breathing pattern that you can follow that'll help you stay focused and in tune. Inhaling and exhaling. Holding on to nothing. Allowing everything to just be as it is in this moment. And just, again, feel what it feels like to breathe and to be you in this moment. Can't be anyone else. And as you're inhaling and exhaling, as you're taking in a sense of who you are, notice any thoughts that may arise that stand out to you, like clouds passing in the sky. And just take mental note of them. You don't have to give your attention away, but recognize them. Inhaling and gently exhaling. Now, as you are in this moment, just feel what you feel. And whatever that emotion, that energy and motion is, allow it to rise and fall. Rise and fall away. Similar to the sea as it rushes to the shore and then gently pulls back. Whereas the sun gently rises in the sky, rising in the east and setting in the west. Feel what it feels like to find your own rhythm. Inhaling through the nose, gently exhaling from the mouth. And wherever you are, whatever you're resting on, whatever you're moving about on, feel yourself sinking into the chair, surrendering to the floor, feeling your energy travel to Mama Earth. And feeling what it feels like to be supported. Inhale here. Taking in that vibration of feeling supported wherever you are. Resting here. And reminding yourself that wherever you are supported. Mama Earth will be there. Inhaling through the nose. Gently exhaling from the mouth. Rest here for a moment. I'll mind the time. And just feel what it feels like to be like a tree. Allowing the sounds, the sensations, the feelings, the thoughts, allowing them to come to you and then gently pass through you. Holding on to nothing, letting go of everything. This is your natural state. Feel what it feels like to be in your natural state of rest and surrender. Just for a moment. As you breathe, inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the mouth, gently come back to this third dimension. Gently, slowly, feel what it feels like to return. There is no rush. Feel what it feels like to just take your time. And when you are ready, slowly begin to roll your shoulders gently. Slowly and gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel what it feels like to move like the sun in your own time. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back, beautiful ones. Welcome back. Nice. Now take your time when you're ready. No rush, but those who have returned, go ahead and just jot down any ideas or notes or numbers, colors, anything that may have come to you in your travels. Take a note of that. And if anyone would like to share their experience, you are more than welcome to do so at this time. We would love to hear your journey. No pressure though, you don't have to. Hey, Mama Head, please.
Hey, beautiful.
Go for it. How was your journey?
So when you mentioned the clouds, I just saw words passing by
Nice.
and thoughts of putting different words or thoughts on the clouds. So now I'm like, wow, I want to do an exercise with clouds now. So
Nice.
to my mind.
Beautiful.
I feel at peace. Oh,
You feel what? You feel who? You feel in.
I feel at peace
I say.
because I got to wiggle with my sisters. All right.
Yes, I say. Thank you, Mama. Anyone else like to share? What words did you see, Het? Give us at least one of them.
I don't know. It was crowded.
Okay.
Well, I saw peace. I don't know if I saw words. I saw that I want to put words on the clouds. That's what I want to put words on the clouds. So I'll come up with those.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it. Anyone else like to share before we move on? Going once, going twice. We out. All right, y'all. So meditation time has come and gone. And now it's time to get into it. Y'all ready? I'm super, super excited about this conversation because I've had it before and I will continue to have it because having this conversation or coming to some realizations from this conversation that we're going to have today really helped to solidify a lot in my life. It really helped me to fully get on my path of being a goddess, meaning embodying the spirit of God in everything that I do, everything that I'm about, whether it looks crazy and weird or whether it looks right on point, like that girl done figured it out. Whatever it is, it's all God to me. And so this context that we're going to talk about today really helped me to do that. And I think it's a conversation that A, we need to have, and that B, we're going to start having more of. I'm sure you're going to see more of it in the world as time goes on. So let's be pioneers, ladies. Let's have this conversation. It's not a necessarily comfortable one, but it's one that we have to have. And what conversation is that, you say? The conversation Eve was framed. And a lot of people don't like touching on this topic because, of course, we are dealing with Bible matters, right? We are, when you hear the name Eve, you already know, where that fits along the the religious lines. So you have the three main religions in the world: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, right? And these religions are the religions that pretty much rule most of the planet, to be honest, right? They're very much indoctrinated in a lot of societies. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Don't mess with the frequency now. Oh, my screen just went out and came back. No, 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 no. We're not doing that today. We're having this conversation, okay? All right, so yeah, so it's a conversation that I think we need to have as women, and all the women here have something very valuable to share on this topic. So please, you're gonna chime in, you're gonna participate, because this is the conversation we need to have. But before we dive all the way into it, Sheila, would it be possible for me to share my screen? Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen because I was up late last night doing research. This is what I like to do. I like to not just go on my own accord, but I also like to back some things up. That's from my college days. You know how it is. You got to study, you got to research, you got to add more to the pot than just your thoughts. And so the professor in me, because I used to teach at a university, so the professor in me and the student in me is all about research and bringing up, you know, supportive evidence or supportive material, right? And so today is no different. We are going to, I pulled up a few videos to help give us some context for this conversation. So we're going to spend probably the first, I would say 15 minutes, because they're very short videos, but they give great context for this conversation. So we're going to watch the videos, right? And then from the videos, we are going to dive into this discussion. And I have some specifics that we're going to talk about as well. But let's first just watch the material, gather your own knowledge and understanding. There is no wrong in the room, okay? So how you see it and how you feel is just as valid, is just as right, quote unquote, as anything else. So feel no pressure to think a certain way or be a certain way or act a certain way. Just gather the information. What comes to you, and then we're going to share. All right, so let's get into it. So do I have a shared screen? I can share my screen. Okay, so let me see. I'm not the absolute best at this, but we're going to figure it out today. All right, so I'm going to exit full screen, and then I'm going to pull up the video.
Did you share the screen yet? Did you push that down at the bottom?
Oh, okay. No, I was going to pull the video up first and then share.
Oh, okay. And then,
okay. All right. And so while I'm setting this video up, if you have your journals with you, you already know here on Mommy Mogul Mindset, we do some work. So you're going to set up your video. I mean, you're going to take some notes. You should have your journal or a piece of paper or something for you to jot down ideas. And I want you to just jot down for a moment. What are your ideas about just the topic itself today? Eve was framed. That's the title. So start formulating your own idea or understanding around that. What does that mean to you? Eve was framed. What did you feel when you first heard or saw that Eve was framed? What came to you? So go ahead and tap into that, jot it down if you need to, so that you can really, share your perspective clearly and concise. So Eve was framed. What does that mean to you? All right, I'm going to pull up. My computer's moving a little slow, but she's moving. That girl is moving, okay? All right, so. Okay, so if you watch my video also this weekend, you realize, or you heard a comment that I made about how we came to be as far as our understanding of what a woman is and what femininity is, especially growing up in the Western world. A lot of it, and in other parts of the world as well, which we'll see, it comes from a masculine perspective of who a woman is, of how she should be, of who she means to God. You know, what does she mean in the higher context? You know, and the narrative for that is primarily masculine. It's male. It's a male dominated, or it's founded in male principles. And so you'll see that in the videos that I'm going to share with you today. And I want you to have that in mind as you're watching these videos and ask yourself, is it true for you or not? It's not up to me, okay, or anyone else to make that determination. It's completely of your prerogative. So from what you've gathered, from your knowledge, from your upbringing, a lot of these things I'm sure will strike home for you, and you will be able to relate quite personally to what's being shared, okay? So we're going to start with the I'd say the most prevalent story, which is about Adam and Eve. And we're going to talk about creation and what the feminine role in creation really means. Where did we get it from? How do we know how we got here on the planet? Where did that concept of being here came from, of being created came from, right? And what role does a woman play in that story, in that creation story? Okay, so we're going to look at different ones. We're going to look at the Western version. We're going to look at the Judaic version. And we're also going to look at the African version. All right, so we're going to look at all three contexts, and then we'll come up with our own perspectives and our own opinions and commentary. Okay, so that first video I'm going to pull up. I want us to get past the ads. I don't want you to have to sit through the ads. So we're going to move through the ads. All right. And I'm going to pause it. All right, ladies, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Okay, no. Here we go. All right, so let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna make sure I get a full view. This first video is about 9 minutes long, but when I tell you they did a number on this story, so pay close attention, okay? And of course, this video is based off of biblical scripture and biblical text. So this is not at peace saying none of this, okay? This is a video that's out on YouTube. It's had over 5 million views. So, so we're gonna use this as our context today. All right, here we go. Let there be light. Can you hear it okay?
No.
Okay.
Let's make sure that all of us have our mics off so that won't interrupt. I think our mics on mute, that will help too.
Okay. And I turned it up, so I'm sure that helped. All right, here we go. So I'll play it back for you. There wasn't anything playing during that verse that just ran. So can you hear it now? Okay, great.
Every tree of the garden you may freely eat. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. It is not good that man should be alone. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother, be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh.
Has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die.
You will not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Adam, where are you?
I heard your voice in the garden, but I was afraid because I was naked. So I hid myself.
Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?
The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate.
What is this you have done?
The serpent deceived me, and I ate.
Serpent, because you've done this, you are more cursed than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception.
I've been getting paid.
Girl, you know they gotta get paid.
$1,000 a month, if not more. Just for
Hold
listening
on.
on my phone. And
Here you go.
And you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband. He shall rule over you. Because you have heeded the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground. For out of it you are taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Excuse me. Excuse me. Honey. All right, so that's perspective number one. All right, now we're going to go to perspective number two. Excuse me. Now, this perspective.
Lucid Dream makes intelligent diagramming easy and helps your best ideas become real. Hey everyone, welcome to Adult.
Oh no, that's not that long. I'm sorry, went down the wrong pipe. So this perspective is more of the Jewish tradition. This is what's in the Jewish writings as far as the creation story. So we'll share that.
Apology explained. In today's video, we're going to discuss Lilith, the queen of hell, mother of demons, angel of prostitution, killer of pregnant women and infants, Adam's first wife, and seducer of men. We're going to start off by looking at a couple of allusions to her in the
Let me see, because I think I got two videos and that's not the one I wanted. Can you make sure? So what I want. Library. And that was not the time for that. Okay. So let me find. Here we go. Okay.
So while that piece gets that set up, I mean, does anybody have any ideas?
Oh, here it is. I'm
You
sorry.
found it.
Yep. Thank you, Danyelle. I appreciate you.
It's not
Okay.
trying to not have any dead space. We got here. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
This one's the shorter version. All right.
We all have heard of Adam and Eve, who, according to the Bible, were the first couple of human beings created by God. But an ancient Jewish myth contests that Eve was the first woman. This myth states that before Eve, there was another woman, Lilith. Unlike Eve, who came from Adam's rib, Lilith emerged from clay along with Adam. Since she was created by God in the same way as Adam, Lilith did not submit to her husband's commands because she thought she was equal to him and did not accept Adam's domination. Lilith and Adam inhabited the Garden of Eden, but Lilith's rebellion put her in a situation where she was forced to choose between submitting to her husband or leaving the Garden of Eden. Lilith was not willing to give up her independence. Therefore, she opted to leave Adam and the Garden of Eden behind. The first woman ever created went into exile and settled herself near the Red Sea. God sent angels. Adam started to feel lonely. God, seeing that he was struggling with loneliness, decided to create a new woman for him, Eve. Due to her decision to reject the Creator, Lilith was demonized. She was now considered a woman-shaped demon. In her demonic shape, she would
Sound is going in and out.
that Lilith was jealous of the happy life Adam and Eve led in paradise, and, as an act of revenge, she assumed the shape of a serpent and tricked Eve, forcing her and Adam to taste the forbidden fruit, which caused the couple to be expelled from the paradise. Lilith's story is quite well known, yet this version is not present in the Christian Bible, and it is rejected by both Catholics and Protestants. The version in which she would have been Adam's first wife is found in the Syriac alphabet text. The date of the writings is unknown, but it is believed that they were created already in the medieval era. The myth of Lilith is found in Hebrew, Babylonian, Sumerian, and Assyrian mythology. The figure of Lilith in Mesopotamia was seen as an evil deity, or, when associated with the moon, she was regarded as a goddess with different phases and therefore different moods. That way, she could be seen as a fertility goddess, but also as a devilish figure. There are theories that state that Lilith's absence from the Bible was created during the councils that defined the canonical books that would constitute the Bible as we know it today. The figure of Lilith as an independent and strong woman would go against the patriarchal structure, one of the cornerstones of the Judeo-Christian culture. For this reason, Lilith was embraced by the feminist movement. She is often regarded as the first feminist. The movement claims that Lilith was unfairly demonized, like most women in our history who have attempted to defy the patriarchy. Whether as a demonic figure or as a symbol of women's struggle, Lilith's story is still the subject of much interest.
That is the Jewish version of creation. Now we're going to watch this last video. It's a few minutes long, and it is the Yoruba, or not even just Yoruba, it's different African cultures follow the same text. So we're going to watch that one, and then we will jump right off into our commentary.
Hey, Mama at Peace, can you put the closed caption on so if the sound goes out, we can still see the word?
Okay, girl, you asking me to be techie. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, girl. All right, let me see. I'll put that on.
I believe that much of Africa's stories, philosophy.
Pause that, and then I'm gonna put caption on CC at the bottom, right? All right, let's hit it.
And ideologies go underappreciated. However, today's video is a video on appreciation. We're going to be looking at West African mythology, specifically creation stories from the Ashanti, Yoruba, and Igbo tribes. I hope to teach you all something new. Enjoy. The Igbo tribe is roughly 31 million people in population, making them one of the biggest tribes in Nigeria. They are located mainly in the southeastern part of Nigeria, with one of their biggest cities being Enugu. Prior to colonialism and the arrival of Christianity, Igbo people practiced something called Odinani, which was essentially their pre-colonial religion. Odinani is what gives us the Igbo creation story. The supreme god, according to the Odinani religion, is Chukwu or Chineke. Chineke is said to have created all of existence. However, humanity was not just created by a Chineke. Humans were said to be created by three components, three different gods, all part of the one divine being. These three components are Chineke, Igwe, and the earth goddess Allah. Igbo people essentially believe that human beings were created as parts of God, essentially meaning that there is a bit of divinity in every person. This massively shapes their cultural values and how they see human life, placing utmost value on life and how a person lives. Unfortunately, the sources about the Igbo creation story are very scarce, so this is all the information I could find. However, if anybody knows anything extra, make sure to put that in the comments so we can all see. The Ashanti people are an ethnic group in Ghana that live in Kumasi, one of the largest cities in Ghana. Kumasi was the capital of their former Ashanti states. The entire Ashanti area has a population of over 4 million people and is continually growing. Although the Ashanti group is large in its own right, it is part of a wider ethnic group called the Akan, which consists of other subgroups. The Akan share culture, language, history, and religion. The name of the Akan religion is Akom, which means prophecy in Tree. In the Akom religion, the supreme god is called Nyame or Onyame. Nyame is considered to be all-powerful, all-knowing, and infinite, also being known by many other names. His three most important names are Yame, Onyakapon, and Odomakoma. His name most associated with creation is Odomakoma. He is said to be a divine craftsman that used his mind and his hands to create the universe out of an unknown substance. Aside from Nyame, there are many other gods in the Akom religion, one of the most famous being Anansi the spider, known for his tricks and stories. In some accounts, Anansi is said to be the creator of humanity. It was Nyame that then gave the inanimate form of humans life. In the beginning of the Akom myth, there were two couples, each couple being made of one man and one woman. However, neither couple knew how to reproduce. As a result, Nyame sent down a snake, which taught them how to. The end result was the population of the earth. What really intrigues me most about the Akom creation story is the fact that creation is a continual process. In fact, even when the world was created and human beings were living their own lives, Nyame was seen walking through the earth. Something funny I read is that Nyame went back to heaven because he was made to feel unwanted by two women who he wanted to observe washing their clothes. The Yoruba are an ethnic group that live in Nigeria, as well as other West African countries. They are primarily located in the southwest of Nigeria. Their population is approximately 40 million people, and they make up 15.5% of Nigeria's population. The Yoruba are well known for their food and arts, with many popular Nigerian artists being Yoruba. Oloru or Olodumare is the name of the supreme being in the Yoruba religion. Olodumare is seen as distinct from the other lesser gods called Orisha, that are more actively involved in human affairs. Something important to know is that after the creation of humanity, Olorun became very inactive in human life, playing more of a role as an observer than one that is actively involved. In the beginning, the world was not inhabitable to humanity, as it was just a watery marsh. In order to create humans, Olodumare ordered Orisha Lao, the head of the Orisha, to scatter earth on the ground, giving him a pigeon and a hen. Of course, the Orisha had no ability to transport from heaven to earth, and so Oloru turned into a giant spider and weaved the bridge. After the earth had been scattered and was solid, Orisha Lao was told to mold the humans. The humans were then given life by Olodumare. Orisha Lao was jealous of this, as he was not able to give life the same way Olodumare could. That marks the end of this video. Make sure to tell us your thoughts in the comment section. There's going to...
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to that lesson today. I trust that you learned something new. All right, so we're going to, let me check the time. All right, live people on Facebook, YouTube, we love you. But it is 9 a.m. or 9:07, so it is time for us to come off of live and go straight into the Zoom room. And baby, you might want to follow us over there because we're about to get it in, okay? So if you would like to follow us into the Zoom room for the next hour so we can have this very important discussion about the creation and women and goddesshood and all that other great stuff, then make sure that you go to elizabethvisionaryconference.org. Click the button and it'll take you right into the Zoom room, okay? So ladies, let's wave, let's give hugs and kisses to our live audience. All right, and I'll let us jump right back into the conversation, ladies. Woo, honey. Listen. How you feeling today? All right, we about to get right up into it. Now, what had me chuckling during one of the videos is Mama Evelyn's just visceral responses. Like she was just, honey, what were you going through? Mama Evelyn, you have to take the floor first. What is it that you got from today's lesson, girl?
The first one, bullshit. Oh my God.
Okay.
First of all, they trying to show us, they're showing us white man, white woman, white God. And I'm like, no wonder I never really got into church like that. You know, it was because I went to church and the singing was cool and the messages was cool. But when the preacher started singing, I went to sleep. Every time. That was the reason. It's bullshit. So, let's blame the woman. Let's vilify her. And they've been doing it ever since. I am so pissed.
Okay, well, I want you to breathe, Mama. That's why we meditate first, okay? I want you to ground that energy, Mama. Just bring it to the earth. All right, just bring it to the earth. So what I want us to remember is that no matter, I mean, even though there's been a lot of, it's a loaded story. I'm just gonna say that. It's a loaded story. It's a lot of information, it's a lot of misinformation. We want to remember that it's stories. At the end of the day. It is someone's version or someone's idea of what happened that's been passed on and passed on and passed on throughout lineage. So just remember that, Mama, okay?
I remember.
Right. All right. Danyelle, I want to hear your commentary. What is it that you would like to share? And Mama, I see your hand.
So when I come, my thing is, it's surreal. I kind of feel like Mama Evelyn because even though I grew up non-denomination. It's still the same thing that Eve ate the apple, and Eve. That's the reason why we have all the womb issues that we have to this day. That's why there's a discord between, man and woman, or why women don't have power, don't have, powerful roles, or do some powerful roles in the church and all this other stuff. And, as I go along my spiritual journey, I heard of Lilith. Coming from the Jewish aspect, I've heard of course, Yoruba, the Ashanti people. That was a different one. So I guess I'm just happy that there's different stories when it comes to creation, other than the one that was constantly forced down my throat since childhood. And it's just I just like the fact that there's different cultures have different forms of creation. Still the same thing, still something about a man and a woman, because apparently you can't recreate without having a man and woman together. But it's the just the connotation of the story of Eve. Because I've said when I started getting period pains, I was like, you know what, I want to go slap Eve. When I go to heaven, I want to go slap Eve for eating the apple. That's what was my thought then. Now I have a totally different connotation. Like, it's not her fault. that she wanted more knowledge, that she wanted to be equal to man, which I'm like, in my opinion, we are equal to men. You know what I'm saying? We should be, period. It's just there's no one over the other, because we both have gifts and talents that go simultaneous. And one, we complete each other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the same thing. So it's like, together we fit, we work. But separate is like, yeah. So I'm just like, I like that there's different stories to compare. And that's what gets me right now. There's different stories to compare. And it's just it's interesting when you look at different ethnic groups' thoughts of creation.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Lilith that gets me is that that's Adam's first wife. She's always depicted as a dark energy. She's always depicted as
evil,
a
demonic.
negative, evil, demonic. But then again, Lucifer was, when he got kicked out of heaven, was depicted as evil and demonic. And I'm not necessarily saying that's whether or not that's true or not. But it's like, okay, if you're in the eyes of God, you're good. But if you try to get above God, then all of a sudden it's like you're just exiled. And it's like, I'm like, okay, it opens up another thought of what it means to be in the eyes of God. But then when you look at Yoruba and African tradition, they don't believe in evil. So they believe there's good, there's bad, there's life, but they don't believe in, quote unquote, an evil source. So it's like, that taking that into connotation, it's like, oh, okay. So if there is no evil, it's like, what is life? And what is our true purpose here if there is no, it gets deep. We can get deep into this.
We can definitely get deep into this. Yes.
So I'm gonna let Mama Het speak because I want to hear what she has to say.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Mama Het, share your thoughts.
She holding her head from exploding.
I know. She's like
holding it.
Hold it.
Okay, be patient. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I respect Mama Evelyn and Danyelle's take on what we heard and witnessed. So I have to bring up that one time I went to a church my brother was at, and the preacher, he said, okay, I need all the children to be taken out of the church. Y'all take the kids to the little people's department or whatever. And when the adults came back, he said it wasn't no dang on apple, it was a penis.
What church was this?
But anyway, I don't even remember if I could have. I don't need to remember. But he just broke that down. He broke that down. But for me, when I look at that story and listen to the story, I hear greed and fear. I think that the tree was greed and fear. Because as soon as, for the story, they hid, now you have this whatever. But as I'm looking at, I went and looked at the Bible. I'm like, God told Adam not to eat from the tree. He didn't tell Eve. She wasn't made yet according to the book. Okay. She was made after he told him not to eat from the tree. I just looked
pulled her Bible out. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Come on,
I had to dust it off.
Wow.
I had to dust it off.
Had to dust it off, but it's there. Yes, ma'am.
But was she tricked or did she do something? Was she tricked? Another thing I was looking at is that it looks like the lingam versus the yoni. And then we have the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, I know the Holy Spirit is actually the feminine part, and the Virgin Mary looks like the yoni. These are just things that came to my mind. Okay. Also, when you bring Lilith on, I don't know why I feel like it's a dark energy. I see women of color. I see that the Lilith energy is given darkness, if you will, and they're saying that that's evil. Now, if you put that in perspective for peopling, if we continue to get down with the brown, guess what the earth gonna be? Moving on. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, one more thing. What is this? Why is there the statement of attempting to be equal? Men are men and women are women. Why do we always look for this equality? What is that? Why is that? Is that the fruit? Is that what the fruit represented? That we think we need to be equal to something? Is that a false thought? Why why am I not just the best energy of feminine that I could be? But and we all possess a feminine and a masculine of whatever. So maybe that balance or that equality we're looking for is that we need to equally respect our masculine and our feminine. Ooh. So that's where my head is. I'm done.
Thank you, Mama. Very interesting
Yes.
perspective. I love
Very
it.
good. Very good.
Yes. All right, Miss Danyelle.
I just want to but that part where Mama had said about, you know, why is this thing about being equal? And I think it's the thing of no one gender is over the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, you know, we don't want to be controlled. And I think when in Christianity, there's a control issue. It's God, the church, the husband, then the wife. The husband is the one that's, you know, educating you and teaching you and guiding you and telling you what to do. And it's like, you know, we're smart beings. We're intelligent beings. We figure a lot. There's roles that we both play. You know what I'm saying? That equally, when we come together, we balance each other out. But when you have that what is it? Man is over. Man knows everything. Man, it. How can I say this? I think that's what that is right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, I do agree. We do need to mutually respect the masculine and the feminine. But however, it's like that's not being taught. It's being, you know, and I think that's the lacking part of that. You know, we realize when you can get spiritual and you find out that you need both, there are times where sometimes it might be a little bit more masculine, it might be a little bit more feminine, but there's a balancing. It's a balance, you know, on a scale. It's a balancing out. So I feel like that's the missing, you know, for the couples that I see that actually work, there's a balance. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. Sometimes you got to step into his role. Sometimes he's got to step into your role. Even what we consider to be the gender roles, you know, like the man makes the money, the woman cooks and cleans and keeps the house. Sometimes that flip-flops. Sometimes the man is the better caregiver for the kids. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the woman is the one that's out there bringing the money. But as long as they got a mutual understanding about, you know, that the roles doesn't necessarily define you, you're just doing what's best for you. And this is what works for us. It looks beautiful, but the ones where the man is controlling and dominating and not narcissistic, and you got to listen to me, and it's got to be this way, and blah, 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 blah. It don't work. Vice versa. When you have a woman that's that narcissistic, it doesn't work, man. When you have to put one over the other and bring them down to bring you up in order that's when I feel like things are out of order. Right. Like completely out of order.
And why do we look at the word control as opposed to guiding? You know, even children get mad when their parents are, you know, your parents are Are your parents controlling or are they guiding you? You know, we have to look at those words, and we get stuck on words which are, you know, can be so packed, so fully packed, you know. And then this whole thing, I wanted to touch on one more thing about this thing about evil and, you know, the devil. I don't like when people say they want the devil made me do it. No, he didn't make the devil it. I'll say it. The devil don't make you do shit. You're the one who picked up and do a thing. You know, stop blaming the devil, because he, like you said, that's a child of God too. But I think that is another thing that is within us. We either do this or we do that. I don't even want to judge it. I don't want to call it right or wrong, because when you're in a moment, you do what you make this decision that you need to at the moment, because we'll sit down and sit back and say, oh girl, I never do that, and say never, okay, and watch you end up doing something. That's for real.
Baby.
Woo. Never will get you jacked up. Yeah. But, you know, it's looking at things in situations, because when you sit back and judge what you've done, you did it in the heat of the moment. What is it? Fight or flight or faint? You know, you got to do what's best for the moment. I don't even like using the word best. You got to do what needs to be done in the moment. Then you can sit back and look at it afterwards and take the lesson, but not beat yourself down because you chose to make a decision that you did, and then we look back and go, oh my God, I shouldn't have did that. No, don't do that to yourself. That's not fair to you or anybody else. And saying what we think somebody else should save that crap in your own mind, because you don't know what you would do in the moment. So that's my thing about the evil and devil thing.
Ashe. Thank you, ladies. Woo! Y'all had a lot to share. And Star, I see your hand, so I'm going to call on you next. I just want to share give a little more, put a little more meat on the bone, okay? Because the creation story specifically and the Lilith story, those two from the videos that we watched left out some very important details that will give even more context, okay? So with Lilith, in the video, it said that she didn't want to be controlled by her husband, or she didn't want to follow her husband's commands. So she decided to leave the garden. When you go into the text itself, and when you go into other studies of the text, it is mentioned numerous times that Adam and Lilith, they had a rhythm because they were created at the same time. If you go to the second book of Genesis, it talks about the real creation story, or the creation story that, in my mind, makes the most sense, is that male and female were created at the same time, okay?
Mhm.
And so from that understanding of Adam and Lilith, them being created at the same time, knowing who they were, knowing, where they come from together, right? That there was a rhythm, okay, especially when it came to lovemaking. And so the woman would be on top, the male would be on the bottom. And then at times it would switch when God said, or when nature, or however it worked. So the man would then be on top during sex and the woman would be on the bottom. In some texts, that never happened. In some texts, the woman is always on top of the man. However you want to see it, there's a rhythm, okay? And in that story, like I said, if you do your research, Adam at some point decided he didn't want Lilith on top. He wanted to stay on top. And so he proceeded to force himself on her, whatever that means to you. Some texts will just come right out and say it, he raped her. Other contexts said he attempted to rape her. However it went, he chose in that moment to force himself, or to say, you know what, God, I ain't about to listen to you. I'm about to get this thing, and do what he wanted to do. And she called out the sacred name of God, and she orbed out of the garden and refused to return, right? Adam walking through the garden all lonely and broken down, because it is not good for man to be alone. We know that in modern day and in historical day, okay? So he's walking through the garden, and in that loneliness, as the video said, Eve was then created. Like, here, I'm gonna give you a second chance at this, brother. Come on now, I'm gonna give you a second chance. And so Eve was created. Now this one is from you. This one is a part of you, right? And so as they stand at the tree, if you read the Bible, it explains to you what was on Eve's mind. It says it in the Bible, what was on her mind as she looked at the fruit. She saw compassion. She saw all of these different fruits of the spirit. She saw, in her eyes, she saw God. Well, the serpent, he tricked her and he lied to her. And no. If again, you read the text in detail, the serpent told her the truth. He told her the real. If you do this, this is what's gonna happen, right? It wasn't just a command, do it or don't do it. It was an understanding. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. And so, like I said, in the Bible, it explains what she saw, and she made a choice, and she chose to eat it. Now, when I was raised, I was told that, Adam can't, he was upset with her for eating it, and, he knew that there was a problem. But when you read the text, Adam was standing right there with the sister, and he ate it with her, right? Mm-hmm. Some say it was an apple, some say it was a kiwi, some say it was sex. Just depends, right? So they eat the apple. Now they're walking through the garden. He puts the clothes on. She's like, what's up? He puts the clothes on. Then she puts she covers up. He covers up, then she covers up, right? And then as the story goes, God came through the garden. He didn't call Eve. Who did he call? Adam. Adam, did ye eat of the tree? And Adam's response was, we all know what his response was, that if you read the text, this is the part that tripped me out when I first studied this years ago. I mean, this is like 15 years ago when I first.
The devil made me do it.
Studied it, yeah. Exactly. Soon as, if you read the text, the next verse says, he didn't say, yes, Lord, I ate it. No, Father, I didn't. He didn't say that. He took no accountability for real. He simply said that every time I say it, I have to do this. I don't know why. That woman you gave made me eat of the tree. That's the verse. Now I want you to think about this. If mothers, mommy mogul mindset, mothers, right? As a mother, if you have 2 of your children there and one of them you say, don't eat this cake. You cannot have this cake. Don't eat this cake. I'll be right back. And then you go to the store, you come back, the cake gone. Okay, they didn't lick the plate and everything. The cake is gone. And you go to the eldest or to the one that was held at the highest responsibility in that moment. You go to that individual, your child, and you say, did you eat the cake I told you not to eat? And then they say, well, she made me do it, or he made me do it. So, that's why I ate it. Is that gonna save you? Is that gonna save you from sitting in the corner? Is that gonna save you from a butt whooping? Absolutely not. I told you to take responsibility. I told you to protect that cake and make sure that cake didn't get eaten. I didn't tell your sibling. So in that context, Adam referring to the woman as to why he ate it, and then her referring to the serpent as to why she ate it. It's like, any of y'all gonna take responsibility for eating it? I'm just asking questions. You understand? And so there we go with the psychosis. There we go with the mind screw. There we go with the, narcissism and blaming and moving in ego, right? And to me, the fruit represents our ego. So in all of that, where's the responsibility being taken? And if you look at your life or your dating life or your marriage or other people's marriage or just society in general, you ain't even got to make it that personal if you don't want to. But when you look at the dichotomy between woman and man, that we can see the pattern continuing where man says, she made me do it. She's the fall of man. She's the reason why I can't. It's her fault. And what is the most popular scenario in society recently that we just had this conversation in? I want you to think about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. And how society, if you don't know, do your research on YouTube University and you'll see video after video after video after video after video. Like it goes on and on and on. Videos being made of it's Jada's fault. Jada is the reason why Will didn't do the right thing. Jada should have said this. Jada should have done that.
Wow. Well,
Jada. Am I lying?
But you know what?
Am I lying?
Danyelle,
we're not going to cut each other off. So I want you all to really think about that for just a second and really even relate it to yourself. Are you the fall of man? Are you the reason why this person didn't succeed and this person got hurt? And maybe you are. Take responsibility, but just in society as a whole, you need to understand how they see us, how we are seen, how we are perceived, even if it's subconsciously. Okay. So Danyelle, go ahead, and then Star, you can speak.
I'll say you can do your research about to see how they blame the woman. But if you go further into research, the whole Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, Chris Rock swap there's a movie where everything is line for line for line as to what that whole scene was. So that whole thing was staged in the first place.
Actors. Thank you, Danyelle. Thank you so much.
I believe it. Yes.
I've seen the movie that it came from, and I was just like, I was dumbfounded. Like, wait a minute, this whole thing was staged. Okay.
I have to live with that one.
That's all I
want to say. Thank you so much for that perspective. If you find the movie, please put the link in the chat or let us know so we can go deeper into that. Thank you. All right, Ms. Star, you have the stage.
Okay, sorry, Star.
A friend of mine, me and a friend of mine was talking about this very subject a few days ago. And like you were saying earlier, there it's a story. And people see it differently. People use the Bible differently for what they need to see to help them in their life. Now, when the serpent was correct, no, you will not die, not physically. When God came down to talk to Adam. And they were hiding and they said that they were naked. And God said, well, who told you you were naked? I do not believe that it was God wanted to throw them from the garden because they ate of the fruit. But the way that I see it is they felt so guilty. I use a story from a preacher who went to the house of someone that he knew because their child was killed. And they were just so, they felt so bad, they were just caught up in their grief. And so the preacher told the doctor to give them something to make them go to sleep. He said, because this day needs to end for them. And so the way I see it, this is my opinion, is that when God told them they had to leave the garden, that is his way of saying this day needs to end for them because they're caught, they're stuck in their grief. So I have to do something to help them get out of their grief so they can have some peace. Now, they would have had constant peace in the garden. However, when they ate the fruit, the guilt just came upon them. And so God's way of giving them grace is to do what God did. Now, one reason why I left religion is because you guys are using the Bible to prove that your denomination is the right one and everybody else's denomination is not correct. However, it all leads to the same destination, God. It all leads to that. And y'all can't agree. It's one God. Y'all can't agree on how to get there. And when you talk about the woman was framed, yeah, I believe that, because the woman's been blamed for everything. Everything. And yes, the Bible, the way that I see it, yes, it is from the male's perspective, because there wasn't no women that wrote anything back then because the women was deemed as weak.
That part.
So yes, it is from a male perspective. And it is all in how you see it, where it leads to man thinking that he is separated from God. Now, since this body surrounds the spirit of God that is in there, there is no way that we could be separated because God is in there. So there is no separation. We've just been taught to believe that it is, that there's sin, that you're going to hell if you don't choose things the way that God said you should choose it. But, you know, us as people, and especially those that are parents, if you give your child a choice and they don't choose the one you think they should choose, then they're going to be thrown in the lake of fire. That makes no sense.
None at all.
So since God is love, why would God do that kind of thing? Would either one of you as parents choose one of your child to be thrown in the lake of fire? No.
No.
So it is all thrown at us for control, to make us believe that we are separated from God when it is not possible for us to be.
Absolutely.
And that's the way that I see it.
Thank you, Star. Thank you. And I totally agree. When I moved to South Florida, well, first let me say this. If you continue to read the story, Adam and Eve eventually return to the garden. They get to re-enter the garden. Yes. Read the story all the way to the end. They don't tell you that part. Adam and Eve return to the garden. So we are in my head, we are in times where it's time to hook it back up together and re-enter that space together. Okay. They had to do some healing work. They had, they had to get some Reiki done. I don't know, they had to they had to get their little well-being together so that you can actually appreciate the peace that the garden represents. So absolutely make sure that you read it all the way through. And I will put in the links for the videos that I shared. I will put the links into the chat. So it was something else that you said, Star, that hit home for me. Can't really think of it at the moment. You just said it, but it'll come back. All right, so is there anyone else that has their hand raised or that would like to jump into the conversation? We want to hear from you. Oh yeah, we got Mama Howard on here. Stop it. We got Lily B on here. Come on, ladies, let's go. Levon, let me hear what your perspective is. What did you all get out of the video this morning? I can't hear you, Howard. You gotta unmute yourself, sweetie.
Well,
Hey,
I'm
Grand
gonna be,
Rising.
I have to be, there you go. I have to be honest. I was off and on the topics because I was off and on,
You're doing your gardening in the morning.
trying to chime in, but I got busy working, then I chimed back in again. So it's everywhere. I almost said, excuse me, could you brief me?
Yes, I will brief you, no problem. We're talking about Eve was framed. And so we went to the root. We want to talk about the root of womb trauma today. And so we're talking about where we all kind of learned or got our perspective of what it even means to be a woman. What does it even mean to be female? A lot of us were indoctrinated by a masculine perspective, right? And so most of the women, I know majority of you on here, and each one of us has taken our own specific journey to get to a place of understanding that we are goddesses in our own respect, meaning we are full from within, we are full from the God source within, and that's how we move, right? That's why we call ourselves goddesses, is because we know that that God is in us and that we live from that space, right? And so we have the creator of all life, and that creator of all life created gods and goddesses. That's what we've come to grow into in our own individual perspectives. But today we were talking about where did the indoctrination come from? So we watched a video about Adam and Eve, we watched a video about Lilith, and we watched a video about the African creation stories of West Africa. So that's pretty much where we are. So if you want to share your perspective of what you know and your knowledge of the creation story and where women fall into that, please do so.
Oh boy.
Yeah, loaded, honey. It's loaded today, honey.
I know. And the thing is, it's like, I don't want to hurt no one's feelings, but
the truth only offends the guilty, baby.
It's like the weak, no, listen. It's like the weaker of the two. You have to look at that. Male figures that he needs something to keep down to. And that's why I say, I don't want to get jumped on as like, not all males, but no, you have to just look at this patriarchal system. It is males that come from women, and deep down, I feel like envies, jealous, or want to be like women. So in order to do that,
I'm gonna just sip my tea on
Bingo. Bingo.
Oh, hey, but no, you have to look at, hey, Yaba not here?
Mind my business, honey.
Because Yaba can, like I said, I'm getting more and more into it too. When you break down and really look at the word and really look, just look at it. A male, he comes from a female. I don't care if he calls himself a male. He's still a female too. So this male exterior, it gotta hide all that and beat all that down. So he got to make the woman feel less. Got to do this role, this role reversal. Make you feel like, oh, you're the weaker one. Let me do this because I am the stronger one. Like I was told, you can let them think that they are the head, but the head does not move without the what?
Whole body, the mind, spirit.
You see? You see? So they know that. And that is their weakness. So that's why they try this dominating factor that women is second. Women's supposed to stay right here. When you look at lions, the male do what? He sit back. What do the woman do? The woman is not the weak one. The woman goes after the food, tangle with the, hey, rumble in the jungle.
Oh yeah, female lion is way more vicious than a male lion.
Yes, and bring it on back to the home. Why he's doing what? The weak one, sitting around, laying around, and you look at all species of animals. They said the female dog is more aggressive than the male, So who's the weak one? I guess I'm jumping on that word weak because that's how it all starts, to make you feel less to make you feel weak, to make you humble yourself so they can step on up the controlling factor and become the controlling factor. But once you know that you are a god, goddesses, you know, once you know that, then it's like you have unleashed, you have unlocked something in your head, inside your wound, inside your spirit, inside your heart, that you know how to roll and manipulate this, you know? Meaning
Awesome.
know how to manipulate the male. Okay, because we the fee, F-E in front of M-A-L-E. We are the fee, you know? So it's ours, it's woman. You know, they can battle with you all they want, talking about a baby wasn't born without their sperm, you know. It's like, yeah, you got something to do with it too. But let me tell you, it's a lot of things that self-produce anyway. That's female. That's female. Certain insects don't need no male. I just realized that a chicken don't need a rooster to produce chicken.
Hello and goodbye.
To produce the eggs, you know. So it's like, once we know who is the true dominant one, you know, then you know how to roll and you know how to see and know how to think and feel and act when it comes to these men or males or whatever acting out. They're having an episode.
I say, mama. I say.
They having an episode in life. They've been like jacked up like this since the beginning of time. Yes, with Adam.
I say,
well.
mama. Thank you. Thank you so much for your perspective. And
Oh,
I just
hey,
want to
that's
say,
all I need is a few minutes. I mean, like this be 2 hours. All I need is a few minutes.
thank you, mama, for that perspective. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say, like, when we think about, we talked earlier about masculine and feminine and male and female roles and how they're equal. You know, there's really no domination. I mean, there can be, you know, if you into that kind of thing. Hey, but there's not really, I personally don't see it as being weak or strong. You know, I, like Danyelle was saying earlier, I just kind of see everyone getting in where they fit in, you know, at that different moment. Het said the same thing. At that different moment, you have to, you know, maneuver. And like you said, Mama Hawa, manipulate. And let me clear up that word, because that's a hot word for a lot of people, especially in society, when we hear about manipulation and, oh, women manipulate men. The negative context is that, you know, we use our sexiness and we use our femininity to get what we want out of a man, but really it's us bringing all of us to the connection with a man, and man then being able to submit. There are times when a woman submits to a man if he's in his alignment. See, that'd be the key, because I don't mind sitting back letting a man take care of me if he's know what he's doing and he's in alignment. That way I can go and do my creative gifts. I can go and do my thing. And that's the balance. You know, a man was created to procreate, protect, and provide. And not to say, oh, he got to go out there and do the work, and provide for the woman what she needs so that she can then be the creatress that she was made to be. And together, you know, they get it all done. A man being the seed bearer, right, is a very important role. I don't try to take nothing away from a man. I have a son and I want him to know his full power. So I do my best to keep him in that understanding. But there is text out there, you can do your research, where, you know, it explains how the planet was all female, you know, and there's even science to prove that, you know, everyone came from a Black woman. Do your research, right?
That's right.
I worked at an Ivy League university. I worked at an Ivy League university for 3 years as an instructor, as a professor. And in that role, like when you're at an Ivy League university, they're paying good money for a good reason, okay? Ivy Leagues are not expensive like that for no reason. If you want the true knowledge, if you want knowledge that goes beyond the general public, you got to pay for it.
That's right.
Okay. So
that's right.
On that campus, what I learned is, so y'all already know. and y'all just not telling everybody.
Mhm,
Because you
that's
didn't
right.
pay for the knowledge. So if you go to an Ivy League university, they know this already. This is common knowledge. What we're talking about is easy peasy. They all know it. They all understand it. So that means the powers that be in our society, most of them, a lot of them have attended Ivy League universities. They know already what we're talking about. But you're not going to get it from Wayne State unless you dig. You're not going to get it from UCLA unless you did. You know, you might get it from UCLA because they a little expensive. But the Ivy League, there's only 5 of them. Last I checked, and those 5 are the 5 that hold the jewels, that hold the knowledge, that hold the root of it all, right? In terms of perspective. So just keep that in mind as you do your research, as you discover, that this information is widely known, and in a lot of ways, it's used against us. If you really look at how society is set up in some ways, it is used against us. It's used to pit us against each other, to have conversations about who controls who and all of that, when really that's there's no debate there. When you actually
See, the alignment is when male knows it's male and wait a minute, when male knows that it's male and female.
Somebody needs to mute their mic, please.
Okay. But you have to see it like this, because I know many males that is so balanced. It's like you can feel the female in them, then you can feel the male in them,
Yes.
Now that's a alignment, that man is, it's like you have to remove gender, it's because that's one, that's becoming one. When you're one with yourself, that allow the female and the male to work together. What alignment.
Man, it's a beautiful thing.
Boy, you be doing it. I like this.
Now you're in the spirit of creation, right? And we can go all off into that conversation of creation versus being made, I guess. Creation.
Nothing but discovery. This is all discovery. This is exploring.
Thank you, Mama Hawa. All right, so I want to hear other perspectives. If you have them, please jump in. Let me see. Let me look at the chat over here. Yes, you can get the link. My beloved, Mama Evelyn said, my beloved male cousin and my neighbor at the family home tries to convince me that their way is the way I should follow. Yeah, that's, if we looked at the creation story that we just watched of Adam and Eve and him standing there and kind of allowing her to do her, and then sharing in that with her, and then not protecting her, not saying, oh, no. Because when I was growing up, I always thought that he tried to stop her and she did it anyway. That's what I thought the fall of man was. That she was like, I'm going to eat this fruit and you just going to watch me. And him being like, no.
Same.
That ain't quite how it happened. What'd you say, Lily B?
That's literally what I was taught. Like, Eve ate the apple and then everything went to shit. Excuse my French, but basically that's literally what I was taught.
Why did Adam let her eat it? If we're gonna go with that story, why did he let her eat it?
That's the point. Yeah.
She probably was
psychotic.
Doggone way. And it's really the self. All of that is really the self. How we have decisions to make. And just like I watched the baby bird, we kept telling him, now I know your mama told you don't go out in that street. And you're not even flying yet. You're gonna take your sweet butt out in the street and get rolled over. All of us told the baby, don't go out there, pick a different route. Go out there and get squished. That is all of us. We all have that. We are Adam and Eve, aren't we?
That's why I just said we're one. When the male is working with the female, and in the male know that he is working with the female,
That's right.
Then that's the balance.
That's the whole thing in a nutshell. So, and then the evil and the good, the this and the that, as I say, you got the this and the that. If you punch that gas pedal too far, you might get a ticket. Don't call them over there. This whole thing with this bid, playing pandemic. This shit is a mental mind screw, and all of this stuff is all in here. Everything we talk about.
There you go.
Our godness, our unholiness, if you will, our opposition. All of this stuff we talk about all exists within this one space. And so everything is an extension, you know, we are the fractals of the larger blah, 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 whatever it is, you know, first. And so we really need to start to understand that. I wrote yesterday, and I just kept saying, we do the same, we talk about the same, I'm gonna say shit because I like that word. SHYT, I'm not cussing. So we talk about the same shit every day. We learn, we go through the same lessons every day. I'm saying every day, the same thing. It's just colored different. You use different words, it's different scenarios. I'm like, it's the same. When we gonna flip the script? Because we know what the problems are. We got to get to the solutions. Just like with music is universal. That's why they went in and changed it up to put the energy out to do a certain thing, because they know music was about to turn. Music is turning this place out. Music is making peace, because you don't have to have a certain language to listen to some music and it make you feel good. When they came up with rap, they approached the brothers. They said, look, we about to start making these jails. You are going to make the music to feed into these people going to prison. And they fell for that because they want the money. Greed and, what did I say? Greed and fear.
You know what? You know what? Not to cut you off, but back to that Adam and Eve in the garden. I had a flashback that my mother put in my head, that the light, she had this picture like the lightning, and you're looking at them looking up like, oh God, you know, and I felt the same way. I said, did Eve, how was she deceived, you know, and how dare him stay in the background? But my mom, she made it seem like woman did wrong, and that was the end of it. It was like bad, good, that was it. And so in my mind, I grew up thinking that you have to really watch yourself as a woman because you're doing bad, you know. I'm not gonna go into my crazy thoughts, but
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just had to flip back, and my apologies for jumping in. You know, when you get my you get my age, it's like you just start talking.
Yeah, you listen. That's what we do. We play double dutch and jump rope. You know how it is. But listen,
I can do that. I can do that.
Listen to this. Our cramps. I talk to women, and I think our cramps come from challenging relationships between us and other women or our mothers. Because there were sisters that I met that had really bad cramps, and I said, these are people that I was talking to online. I didn't even know them in person. I had two sisters that told me they had really bad cramps. And the first thing I said was, what's your relationship like? It's trash. I said, heal that relationship and the cramps will go away. And two of them did. They did. Listen, we gotta stop all this extra stuff that we put on ourselves.
Oh, mama.
I'm gonna have to jump in. I'm gonna have to jump into the rope, ladies. I'm sorry. Y'all are going back and forth. It's a beautiful banter, but we have 5 minutes left for this episode. So I would love for anyone else who may have something to jump in and say and want to share that didn't get an opportunity to, please do so now if you'd like. And if not, that's fine too. I want you to look into the chat and see the links for all of the videos that I shared today. So make sure that you get those videos, study them, go to more videos, see, find out as much information as you can or much knowledge as you desire. YouTube University is a great resource. Okay. I don't see any hands up. All right. Okay. So
I'm sorry. We got to raise our hand.
No, you don't have to. Jump on in.
Oh, hey, y'all.
You have to share.
Hey, all you beautifuls.
Greetings.
How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Everybody on mute. We're doing great.
Okay, I forgot. Okay, y'all doing good. I like to hear that. Okay, so my part that I wanted to jump in and say, well, Mama has said that about feeling the trauma from your parents and stuff like that. So I have really, really, really bad cramps. I have PCOS, stuff like that. And me and my sister say, we sit and we talk all the time, and we say that's our trauma from my grandmother, from my grandmother's mother, and things like that we are feeling. We are carrying the trauma and we need to heal. I push this really heavy on them about we need to heal. We need to find our ancestors, our roots. My sister then found so much little information. We need to tap into that and try to get an understanding. I talked to my grandmother. I talked to my grandmother's people. And I've learned how some of the kids came about and stuff like that. And I believe 100% those cramps are from trauma. And me, the strength that I have, I was born and I was birthed to carry this. And that's why I'm so strong. And I know, you don't have to be strong and stuff like that. But I know that this strength does not, it's solely pushed from the ancestors. Like I came early and everything else, like that's a serious thing about that trauma. And maybe they couldn't bore it, and I believe that some of them passed away early and things of that nature. But I think the women in our family may have the elders went through a decent amount of trauma. And I'm a firm believer that trauma is passed down through generations until it's healed.
Yes, absolutely.
And
so
it's a serious, heavy thing, man.
Right.
Thank
So,
you,
so that's why I
absolutely.
said that seems like that's our Adam and our Eve. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that
Thank you,
hit me.
Lily.
It hit me right in the stomach when you said that. When I say heavy, I'm serious, like serious.
Thank you, Lily B. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. I didn't know. I didn't know about. I just want to put this out here, Danyelle. You can, if you'd like, you can speak on it briefly before we wrap up. But Danyelle is the one that put me on to game at my last sister circle, or not my last sister circle, but the sister circle that I hosted at Everette-Hale last summer. And as we were wrapping up, she was sharing the story about how in slave times, when a young girl, as soon as she started her mints, she was shipped off to a whole other plantation to just birth babies. So you have thousands and thousands of our ancestors who were, I guess it would be a brothel, if you will. And in that brothel, all they did was produce babies. So all you did, that was your job, is just to have babies over and over and over again. So the trauma from that is just woo. And going to sister circles like the one that Lily B and I are hosting on Wednesday, shameless plug, and the Sacred Woman training that Danyelle has started, I think it's 16. These types of things can help you get in touch and get in tune with that trauma so that you can actually find ways to not only heal it, but pass that on to the next generation of healing, right? Because it's super, super important. So Danyelle, if you don't mind closing us out with the knowledge of that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so basically there was a time where they stopped shipping slaves from Africa over here. There was a law that said you can't ship no more over here. So the slave owners had to figure out a way to keep their what is it? I don't know what to call us.
Keep their stock up.
Keep their stock up. So they actually created what they called breeding farms. There were actual breeding farms. And what it was there was actually, it was more so men kept in like stable, like units or whatever. And the men's job was just to have sex with Black women of any at all age to reproduce, keep reproducing people. I found this even in my own ancestral bloodline, that one of my great grandfathers was a breeder. That's what it was. They call them breeders. He was a breeder. He was a breeding slave, and he bred over 200 children outside the line that is my family. So that right there is deep as can be. And for the women, they would tell the women, well, if you can have up to 10 children, the slave owners were actually, the breeding people would tell them, well, I'll give you your freedom on your 10th child. That's how something like that worked. They give them a little shilling here or there for every child, that they birth. But they figure by the time you give 10 kids, you kind of out of commission anyway. So I'm gonna give you your freedom once I do. So it was two-sided. And there's a movie, I could find the clip, because there's a movie that actually shows this, and it was just like,
Yes,
It was
please include
mind-boggling.
that. Yes.
It was mind-boggling. But like I said, the key thing to find out that I have this in my own history was just like mind-boggling. And I found out basically through a cousin that was like, yeah, the Johnsons, which is my grandmother's maiden name, a Johnson slave from Alabama was considered to be like a Ford because the way that they bred slaves for certain strengths, for certain abilities, for certain different things. Genetically, it was like, y'all, just too much. So they said that a Johnson slave was the same to like an F-150. My family is very arrogant. My family is very arrogant. Now I see where we get it. And they was like, you know, if you purchase a Johnson slave, you was getting a good quality stock. Thank you. Good stock. But I'm like, okay,
that's the ones that we knew about and we're okay because they not adding in the rape that was going on in between all of that. So she probably had about 20, 30 kids on the real or pregnancy.
And like I said,
damn it.
And like I said, you know, I had a grandmother that willingly had 19 children. So I'm like, you're talking about 10, and like, you know, we're 19, 20, 20 women is number. There's an African woman right now that got 40 kids because she ended up having multiples.
Oh yeah, I seen that video.
Yeah, I will find that video of that clip, and I'm like, that's the thing that's heartbreaking. That's to show that was actually real. They had actual breeding farms, and they were breeding us like cattle. Seriously, you know, the scene shows a man. He was like, yeah, she's ready. She just had her first period, and these young girls were actually raped. They don't know what the hell is going on.
Right.
It's like, you know, you get some guy you don't know, but now I understand the baby daddy culture. I understand these mentality of these men who just go out here and have 5, 6, 10, 20 children because there's a spiritual brokenness that went down for these men who were forced to just breed, period. So I'm like, this stuff gets deep. I will find that clip. I will find that movie from. I'll find it. I know I'll find it because it's deep. It's deep and it's real. And I do believe we do hold on to some of our family trauma. When it comes health-wise, they show us health-wise. And usually it's the ancestors' way of saying, hey, you're the chosen one to help break all this. We need your attention so that you can do what you got to do to break the generational curse.
That's right. That's it. That's right.
Yes. Thank you, Danielle. Did an awesome job explaining that. Thank you. And so please make sure you do your research. She's going to put the video in the chat, and you can also Google. I think she had 39 children. So you can Google African woman gives birth to 39 children. And so, yeah, I mean, in Africa, having a lot of children, you're considered fertile. You're considered blessed by God to have so many children. But
it's a higher status
as women that it can really take a toll on us mentally, emotionally, and physically. I have 6, okay, and I love each and every one. I'm grateful to have had so many children, but you know, I can attest to the toll that it takes on your body. So I couldn't imagine having 20. Like, that's just insane. But I also want to leave you with this, and we're going to continue this conversation next week. So as we wrap up, no worries if you didn't get to share. We're going to go right back into womb trauma and how to heal it next week. So I want to just share this or leave this tidbit with you. Think about this week as you're going about yourself, your day, you know, seeing it in society, whatever. Knowing energetically that there's 200 children per breeder, let's say, who had no spiritual, emotional connection to the women that they implanted. They didn't even know her. Probably didn't even know her name. Probably wasn't from the same village or the same part of Africa. Just so imagine the disconnect when a child is not bred in love, in that spirit of togetherness, even if it only lasts for that night. I mean, come on, you know, there has to be that connectedness there in order for that spirit to then enter into the body of that baby, right? And to be expressed in a certain way. So I just want to leave that with you as we wrap up. Really contemplate that, meditate on that, and share your thoughts on the Elizabeth Visionary Conference Facebook, and share what it is you think about that and what comes up for you. So as we're out here, you know, interacting with each other, a lot of us come from a lineage that was disconnected. You know, not all of us, not just because you have Black and brown skin, oh, you were disconnected. Don't go there. But just know that either a part of us somewhere or, you know, or there's that energy is out there of the disconnect, right? So just
That's right.
really feed on that, pray on that, meditate on that for a little while, okay? So, and next week, we're going to be talking about ways in which to heal the trauma. How do we pull this up from the root? That's why I shared the root with you today, because once you get to the root of an issue, then you can pull it up, pull that weed up out the root, and now your garden can flourish. Now your consciousness can flourish, your spirit, your femininity, all of that. So make sure you tap in, tune up, turn on this week. I hope you all got something out of today. Mama Queen Aduni has her hand up. So you being the queen of it all, please close us out with our last, with your last comment. Oh, unmute yourself, love. Mama Het, what you have to say before Queen Aduni comes on? Nothing? Okay.
I was just saying we can't hear her. I don't know if she's talking.
No, she's looking to mute herself.
At peace. This is a wonderful topic.
Thank you.
It really, you sit and it just makes you think. I like topics like that you just go deeper within yourself.
Thank you.
See, I don't walk the walk and talk the talk. I done been around, I don't know how many decades. And it's a beautiful thing when I see the lights start coming on in all our younger folks. And it's like, hey, breaking it down, becoming that true God and goddesses. We out there.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. I receive.
Let's take to blow that shit out we just took in, because that was a lot. I just need to inhale and exhale.
Honey, I'm giving
You had to light the incense.
I'm giving you the Ivy League version, baby. I'm giving you the Ivy League version, and you don't even have to pay for it. How about that? How about that? It's free of charge. Okay.
This is
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, Mom, Queen Aduni, close us out.
Just want to, go over a few things this weekend. The African World Festival is happening this weekend, but Elizabeth is going to be hot and on the case. We've got Mama Awa coming in and Ayaba coming in, and Fana will be here in the morning. Well, she'll be here she'll be here Wednesday morning. So along with At Peace and Lily talking about the Sister Share, where is that going to be? And
that's going to be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 13th, July 13th. It's going to be at Stockton Park, which is up the street from Belle Isle, straight up Jefferson. So if you like information, you can go on my website, on my Facebook page. You can also go on At Peace Makita Facebook page, and you can go on Lily B's page to find out more information. I believe it's on the Elizabeth conference page too, correct? So you can go on there for all of the information. We are asking that you RSVP ahead of time so that we can be prepared to know how many people to prepare for. But it's a full moon circle, and the full moon is this Wednesday in the sign of Capricorn, and it's a super full moon. So there's a lot of energy that's going to be downloaded this week, starting right now. So starting today.
What time?
It starts at 6 p.m. From 6 to 9. We'll be outside. We have food. We're going to have Lily B will be hosting the waist bead workshop. Danyelle will be hosting the sacred movement part. I will be hosting the astrology and giving some life coaching lessons on Wednesday. And we'll also have products like Lily B. She has some awesome goddess products, for you to adorn. So Lily, you can share that really quick. What is it that you are gonna, the products that you have for Goddess DNA Essentials? Okay. Unmute yourself, Mama.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you say that again, sweetheart?
Can you just share briefly what products you're going to be you're going to have on offer on Wednesday for the Sister Circle?
Oh, for the sister circle. Oh, is it for the workshop? I'm gonna bring just the beads and things so we can beads, the cord, and some class so everybody can make waist beads that participates. Also,
Yeah.
to
What
sell.
products are you gonna have?
Oh, okay. I'll have my waist beads. They start off at $10, but they're from $10 to $20. Different kinds. They're for everybody, so they're a nice size. What else? I'm gonna have some sage with the Paleo Santo sticks. I think some soap, some hair beads, some accessories. It's essential, so it's gonna be a little of this and a little of that. I also sell yoni steams, but I know Danyelle does that as well. So I need to get with her and talk a bit more with her. So
I do them also. So throw me in that conversation. Oh yeah, I used to be out at the
so
shop.
who is anyone bringing them? Because I have some package to bring. That's part of my setup. So is anyone bringing any of their steams with them, or is it cool if I bring mine?
You can bring yours, absolutely.
Okay.
Yours.
Okay. So I'll bring my stuff. Yeah, I can't wait. I just want to see everybody on one accord, and I just want to see how quick this level of synergy rise within the group, because I know it's gonna be like big. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. Probably gonna be tingling on the inside. This will be great, ladies.
Awesome.
I can tell. And I got to get my belly dance and stuff. Danyelle, listen, I've been at home. That's one of my favorite things to do on YouTube. Can't wait. Okay. Everybody, I hope you all have a beautiful day. I have to leave, run in here and take care of some business.
Okay. Love you, Lily.
Love you too. See you all.
Love you, Lily.
Okay, and we also have on that Thursday, so the next day, we are collecting for back to school. So if you have any school supplies,
I'm gonna have to just turn my camera on.
Please, when you yeah, okay. And so they can drop it off at the shop on Iron Street, and then we'll just be from 6 to 9. We'll be doing impromptu entertainment, impromptu, arts and crafts and things like that. So we ask you to ask your friends and your family to gift to these children. And then you can also order them. I don't have the order on there, but my phone number is on there. Okay. And and also the other thing that's happening is at Mama Awa's house, her family house. That's where some of the sisters will be staying. And on that Friday, we're having kind of like it could be a slumber party if you bring your bag or whatever and blow it up and want to sleep there. But we're going to hang out as Elizabeth and just one, get to know each other, get to hug each other. And the other thing is to really get into the future of what you see as the future, what your thoughts are, and all of us giving and sharing. It is way more than what we are doing right now, believe me, Elizabeth. And then so that's Friday. Saturday, nothing particular. We're just hanging out, probably at the festival and stuff. And then Sunday, we're doing like a mini conference, Elizabeth's Visionary Conference, and we'll be going through. And you want to invite your friends. We will be I think at this point, because we haven't had time to put it out there real big, we will take a love offering from the people who are our guests. We'll take a love offering, and then we'll talk about some other things. But I'm really looking forward to this weekend and having a wonderful, wonderful, awesome time. And that's it. I did record the meeting that we had, but I don't know where it went. So I do have the notes. I will write the notes out and send it to all of you to remind you of what we talked about. Okay, well, it was good to see everybody. Lolly, thanks for jumping in.
Hey,
Evan,
Lolly.
everybody.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you in the morning, 8
See
a.m.
you
right
guys.
here.
Hug yourself. Give yourself some love and give the world some love. It needs it so bad. There's so much confusion out here. This brings sanity. Woo! All right, peace
See you,
out.
ladies. Peace and love.
Okay. Peace and love.